Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ramadan Mubarak, everybody. I'm Nia Malika Dixon. I'm an independent writer, director, and producer here in Los Angeles, California. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm a Black Muslim woman. I am hosting Fresh this week about spirituality and creating during Ramadan because we are in day 2 of Ramadan. And right now, I am listening to Mumu Fresh, aka Mamuna Yusuf, another Black Muslim girl fly from Baltimore, Maryland, who is an amazing artist, a poet, a singer, a performer, a songwriter. She's amazing. And I just wanted to give her a shout out because we inspire each other, and I received so much inspiration from her. So thank you so much, Mumu. We're going to talk today a lot about spirituality and creating art. And I wanted to start off by saying that even though it's Ramadan, some people might have you believe that, it's best for you to cut out everything that's art related, for example, entertainment. And storytelling, honestly, to me, is a very spiritual experience. So I don't ascribe to that. So that I'm just prefacing today that we're going to talk a lot about storytelling, a lot about creating art, and how that is actually spiritually important. It's a fundamental need. And first off, I want to say that this is our second week of Fresh, and hopefully more people will hop on. We are trying to establish a more interactive workshop-based kind of talk, but we'll see how that goes. As far as today's broadcast goes, I really want us to focus on the marriage between our spirituality and our art. Because growing up, a lot of people in our community would separate the two, and that never sat right with me. And I've always felt like art and spirituality are entwined. And so I want to reiterate that and emphasize that for today's broadcast. All right, so let's just jump into it. Hey, welcome to the broadcast. Again, my name is Nia Malika Dixon. I'm a Black Muslim woman, originally from Baltimore. Been Muslim my entire life, and during Ramadan, I will be creating. I've announced that I'm challenging myself to convert, to convert my memoir into a screenplay. So I have 29 days to finish my screenplay, which is kind of really cool because I have a planner that I created called 31 Days of Creating to really help focus me, to keep me focused on my goal, which is to complete my work of art. And so I will be doing a giveaway to give away the planner for free, but I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. So what I did was just created a planner that each day of the month I have a prompt to help keep me focused on my creating, and all of it is rooted into my spirituality. Ramadan Mubarak, thank you. And part of what I was saying earlier in this broadcast is that I believe that my spirituality and my art are connected. And so I ask you, as a creative person watching this video, what are your talents? What do you claim to be your work of art, that you think is totally connected to your spirituality? And there you will find where your identity and your spirituality and your art kind of intertwine. So what are your talents? When you show up fully as yourself and you give, what kinds of joy do you create? What gifts do you give your community? Those are the kinds of questions I want you to ask yourself as a creative. You're a celebrity female Michael Jackson impersonator. Oh, that's pretty cool. Dig a little deeper, So when you show up for your friends, what kind of joy do you create for them? When you show up, are you supportive? Are you a good listener? Tap into that, because that gives you an idea of who you are. I'm an artist. I create stories and other art. One of my most favorite works of art are collages by Romare Bearden. He's a famous Black artist, originally from Baltimore, actually. And I think I'm kind of like those collages, like an artistic mashup of beauty and thought. And that's what I think I give to my community if I sat and thought about it. So that's the question I'm asking you to think about. And then that will guide you on your journey on creating. But like, let's jump into it. During Ramadan, how do you stay focused? You know, you're fasting, you're not eating or drinking. Today's my first day fasting. I'm kind of a little weak, but I know, it's a challenge. But part of that kind of, it solidifies to me that I'm doing something for my creator, not just going hungry, but I'm actually cutting out bad habits as well. And this is a way to kind of purify my behavior, my intentions, my thoughts, just to keep me focused. But that also makes space for creativity. So while I'm doing all of that, my spirituality is strengthening. I stay up late at night and I pray, but I'm also making space for the welcome. Hey, Kiama. I'm also making space for the creativity to come into play. You turn off your devices. I don't know about you, but I turn off my devices during Ramadan, during the daytime, as best as I can. If that's your job, of course, I'm not going to tell you to not do your job. But when you turn off your devices, that makes space for ideas to come into mind. And so, like, one of the things that I've been doing a lot of, hey, is keeping my phone nearby for my notes app, because I jot down story ideas in my notes app. And the funny thing is, if you sit down and you're quiet and you meditate, you'd be surprised how many creative ideas you get. So during Ramadan, when you find yourself after you've said your prayer and you're sitting quietly on one of those peaceful moments, you might get a great idea for a story or a painting or a song. Jot it down. And that's one of the things that I put into our 31 days of creating. One of the days is a prompt to carry your phone around so that you can jot notes down for your work of art. But essentially, who you were created to be, comes through in your art. So when you're in prayer, you're eliminating any distraction. It's just you and your creator. And so that purifies your thoughts, that gives you space to have all of these wonderful ideas, and also gives you self-reflection time. How much of your art are you being yourself? Are you showing up fully as yourself? Or how much of your art are you doing to please somebody else or to make money? Or these are some of the things that I've thought of, and I'm sure you probably have. And if not, it's a good idea too, because like I said, it helps you to purify your art. Because honestly, I really believe that when we create things, it's like I'm a vessel for the creativity. I didn't invent the story. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't. So it's an inspiration from my creator. And so when I recognize that, it really helps me to cherish my work. Also, you can find a way to calm your spirit. Like if you're stressed out about a story or you're stressed out about a deadline for a work of art, you can tap into the quietness that Ramadan provides for you so that your deadlines are less stressful. And then you feel a breath of fresh air when it comes to creating what you have to do. And then, as always, if you have a deadline, it gives you that discipline so that you're not just like floating free fall. Oh, I'll do it whenever. And that's another thing that I love about Ramadan is that it's 30 days. There's your guideline, your deadline, and then you're fasting all day until Maghrib time, until sunset. And so you have this block of time where you can divide up, well, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to read Quran this morning at this time. I'm going to pray my sunnahs at this time after lunch. I'm going to devote this amount of time to meditation after I pray Asr. And then at this point in the afternoon, I'm going to block off 20 minutes so that I can jot down some self-reflections on my current work of art. Perfect. So tap into those guidelines that Ramadan provides for you, like fasting, like prayer. Prayer helps you to find calm and awareness. Fasting helps keep you focused. You're not distracted about that big burger that you ate that's giving you indigestion, so you can't really focus. So these are some of the things that I suggest and some of the things that I think are very valuable to your actual work of art. And if you use a planner, the 31 days of creating can help you with that. And like I said, I did create that just for me, but at one point I realized this should be something to share. So I will be giving it away for free. But today is the first day that I'm talking about it. So I just want to give you a brief glimpse into what can actually help you and keep you focused on your art during Ramadan. Now, before I go, I would love to open up for questions. There's not many people on here today. So what I'm going to do is give you my email address, and you can ask me anything. I'm also going to put a little ask me anything in our story. So you can type in ask me anything for our next broadcast. But today I just really wanted to focus on how connected your art and your capacity to create is to your mind, body, and soul. And during Ramadan, it's a wonderful time for you to use these peaceful moments to focus on not just your spirituality, which I think is connected to your art, but also how you show up in the world and how you create things. And that's it. That's really all it was for me to discuss today, and I've blocked off the rest for questions and answers. But since we don't have that many questions and answers, I'm going to go ahead and close out. But I do want to give you my email address, which is audaz.entertainment. That's audaz.entertainment@gmail.com. And you can send me your questions for our next broadcast, which will be next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. I'm changing the time just to accommodate for Taraweeh prayer on the East Coast, because I know that people make Taraweeh prayer, and I didn't want to have the broadcast to be too late at 9 p.m. because that's usually the time back when I was in Baltimore that we would start Taraweeh. So we're going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific next Wednesday, and we're going to be talking a lot more about story. But today I wanted it to be a general overview for art because not everybody is a writer, but I do want to say that every artist is a storyteller. Just think about that. And I'll close out with my favorite verse from Quran is that God has made us into different nations and tribes to learn from one another and grow. So keep that in mind. All right, you guys, peace out, and I'll see you on the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.